Life presents us with an endless stream of challenges, each one demanding our attention and energy. Some mornings we wake up worried about paying the rent, while others find us concerned about a sick family member or a difficult decision at work. These problems seem to follow us everywhere, shifting and changing like shadows that grow longer or shorter depending on where we stand. But what if these very troubles that keep us awake at night are actually pointing us towards something greater than we ever imagined? When we look closely at the nature of human suffering, we discover something remarkable. The person who worries only about their next meal lives in a different world than someone who stays up at night thinking about how to help their community. Both face real challenges, but the scope of their concerns reveals something profound about their inner development. As Nichiren Daishonin wrote, "The deeper the roots, the more luxuriant the branches. The farther the source, the longer the stream." Our problems often reflect the depth of our capacity to care and the breadth of our understanding. Consider the difference between a child who cries because they cannot have a toy and a parent who loses sleep worrying about their family's future. Both experience genuine distress, but their concerns operate on entirely different levels. The child's world revolves around immediate desires, while the parent's awareness encompasses responsibility for others. Neither feeling is wrong, but they show us how our troubles can actually measure our growth as human beings. This perspective might seem strange at first. We usually think of problems as obstacles to happiness, not indicators of our spiritual development. Yet when we examine the lives of truly great people throughout history, we find they carried enormous burdens on their hearts. They worried about wars, poverty, injustice, and the suffering of countless people they would never meet. Their sleepless nights came not from selfish concerns, but from their deep connection to the welfare of all humanity. The Lotus Sutra teaches us that all phenomena in the universe are manifestations of the Buddha nature. This means that even our problems, our struggles, and our deepest worries contain within them the seeds of enlightenment. When we understand this principle, we begin to see our challenges not as punishments or random misfortunes, but as opportunities for growth and transformation. But recognizing the potential within our problems is only the beginning. We still need practical ways to navigate life's difficulties and find genuine solutions. Many people believe that hard work alone will guarantee success and happiness. They tell themselves, if I just try harder, if I plan better, if I'm more careful, everything will work out. While effort and planning certainly matter, they have clear limitations that become apparent when we face life's bigger challenges. Think about the careful driver who follows every traffic rule, maintains their vehicle perfectly, and stays alert at all times. Despite all these precautions, accidents can still happen. A tree might fall during a storm, another driver might run a red light, or a mechanical failure might occur without warning. No amount of personal diligence can control every variable in life. Similarly, the hardest working student might face unexpected illness during finals, or the most dedicated employee might lose their job due to company restructuring. This doesn't mean we should abandon effort or stop being responsible. Nichiren Daishonin emphasized the importance of both faith and action, writing, "Employ the strategy of the Lotus Sutra before any other." He taught that our practice must include both spiritual development through chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo and wise action in our daily lives. The key is understanding that our efforts become infinitely more powerful when they're supported by spiritual practice. When we chant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, we're not simply repeating words or engaging in wishful thinking. We're connecting with the fundamental rhythm of the universe itself. These 5 characters represent the mystic law that governs all existence, the same force that causes flowers to bloom, seasons to change, and hearts to beat. By aligning ourselves with this law through our practice, we begin to move in harmony with life rather than constantly fighting against it. The transformation that occurs through chanting often surprises people with its subtlety and depth. Instead of dramatic external changes happening overnight, practitioners frequently notice shifts in their perspective, their resilience, and their ability to find solutions where none seemed to exist before. A woman who once felt overwhelmed by single parenthood might discover inner strength she never knew she possessed. A man struggling with career disappointment might recognize new opportunities that were always there, but previously invisible to him. This process works because chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo helps us tap into our Buddha nature, the enlightened aspect of our being that exists beyond our surface worries and limitations. As the Lotus Sutra states, all people possess the Buddha nature and can attain Buddhahood. This isn't a distant goal reserved for special individuals, but our fundamental reality waiting to be awakened through practice. Understanding karma becomes crucial in this process. Many people think of karma as a system of cosmic punishment and reward, but it's actually much more dynamic and hopeful than that. Karma simply means that our thoughts, words, and actions create causes that produce effects. When we consistently create positive causes through our practice and behavior, we naturally experience more positive effects in our lives. However, we also carry the effects of past causes, some created in this lifetime and others from before. These karmic influences can feel like invisible forces working against us, creating patterns of difficulty that seem impossible to break. A person might notice they always struggle with money despite working hard, or they might find themselves repeatedly choosing partners who cause them pain. These patterns often have karmic roots that extend far beyond what we can see or understand intellectually. Here's where the true power of chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo becomes clear. This practice enables us to transform our karma at its source, not just manage its surface effects. When we chant with sincere determination, we're literally rewriting the fundamental programs that govern our life experience. Nichiren Daishonin explained this principle when he wrote, "If you wish to free yourself from the sufferings of birth and death you have endured since time without beginning, and to attain without fail unsurpassed enlightenment in this lifetime, you must perceive the mystic truth that is originally inherent in all living beings." The phrase mystic truth that is originally inherent points to something amazing. We don't need to become something different from what we already are. Instead, we need to awaken to our true nature, which has always been enlightened and powerful. Our problems and limitations are like clouds covering the sun. They seem real and solid, but they're temporary conditions that don't change the fundamental brightness that lies beneath them. This awakening doesn't happen through intellectual understanding alone. It requires the concrete practice of chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo with consistency and determination. Just as physical exercise gradually builds strength and endurance, spiritual practice gradually builds our life force and wisdom. Some days the chanting feels powerful and transformative, while other days it might feel routine or even difficult. Both experiences are part of the process. Many practitioners describe moments when they suddenly understand why certain difficulties entered their lives. A business failure that once seemed devastating might reveal itself as the catalyst that led to a more fulfilling career. A painful relationship might be recognized as the experience that taught them to value genuine love. These insights don't make the original pain disappear, but they transform its meaning and help us extract value from even our most challenging experiences. The practice also develops what we might call spiritual intuition, the ability to sense the right direction even when logic provides no clear answers. This inner guidance becomes increasingly reliable as our practice deepens. We begin to notice subtle signs and opportunities that we would have missed before. Decisions that once felt impossible become clear, and solutions emerge from unexpected directions. One of the most profound aspects of this practice is how it changes our relationship with other people's problems. Initially, we might chant primarily for our own concerns, health, relationships, career, finances. This is perfectly natural and appropriate. But as our life condition elevates through practice, we naturally begin to care about the welfare of others. We find ourselves wanting to help friends overcome their struggles, hoping for our family members' happiness, and even feeling concerned about larger social issues. This expansion of concern isn't a burden, but a sign of spiritual growth. When Nichiren Daishonin wrote about wanting to prevent atomic bombs from falling, he wasn't adding unnecessary worry to his life. He was expressing the natural compassion that emerges when our hearts become large enough to embrace the suffering of others. This kind of concern actually generates tremendous life force because it connects us with the fundamental desire of the universe itself, which is for all beings to experience happiness and fulfillment. The practice of chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo also teaches us about timing and patience. In our instant gratification culture, we often expect immediate results from our efforts. We want our problems solved quickly and our desires fulfilled right away. But spiritual transformation follows natural rhythms that can't be rushed or forced. Like a farmer who plants seeds in spring and harvests in autumn, we must learn to trust the process even when we can't see immediate evidence of change. This doesn't mean we should be passive or accept unsatisfactory conditions indefinitely. Rather, it means we learn to sustain our efforts over time while remaining open to solutions that might look different from what we originally envisioned. Sometimes what we think we want isn't actually what would make us happiest in the long run. Our practice helps us distinguish between surface desires and deeper needs, leading us toward choices that create lasting fulfillment rather than temporary satisfaction. The cumulative effect of sincere practice is the development of unshakable confidence in our ability to handle whatever life presents. This isn't the brittle confidence that comes from trying to control everything, but the flexible strength that comes from knowing we can adapt and grow through any circumstance. We begin to see challenges not as threats to our happiness, but as opportunities to demonstrate the power of our practice. As this confidence grows, we naturally become sources of encouragement for others. People notice something different about how we handle difficulties, and they become curious about the source of our resilience. This creates opportunities to share the practice with those who are ready to receive it, continuing the cycle of transformation that Nichiren Daishonin envisioned when he established this practice over 700 years ago. The right direction in life isn't always the easiest path or the one that avoids all problems. Instead, it's the direction that allows us to grow into our highest potential while contributing to the happiness of others. Through chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, we develop the wisdom to recognize this direction and the courage to follow it, even when the way forward isn't entirely clear. This practice transforms us from people who are buffeted by circumstances into people who can dance with life's changes while maintaining our essential stability and joy.